Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. My name is Evelyn Barta and today we will talk about the law of attraction, but from a completely different perspective to how most people are talking about it. And I think we have passed already the new age belief that manifestation and the law of attraction works based on thinking positively. So we just have to think positively so we can attract positive events into our lives. Yes, the law of attraction does exist, it does work, but it's much more complex than that and it's much more complicated than that. So let's talk about the law of attraction from a consciousness perspective and from an energetic perspective. What happens and what makes us being drawn to certain things and what makes us attract certain things. So we are human beings, but we are not our bodies. We are pure consciousness. I think that's not even a question and I don't need to stress too much about it. So what is consciousness? Consciousness is simply the awareness of self. Talking about the consciousness, we as individuals, we vibrate on unique energetic frequencies, each of us, and we are on different energetic levels, meaning that we have different levels of consciousness. So we vibrate on different levels of consciousness. One of my all-time favorite authors and teachers, Dr. David Hawkins, in his book called Power versus Force, talks about the different levels of consciousness, and he says that each level of consciousness has a unique vibration. So each level of consciousness has a unique way of seeing the world. And on a scale of 1 to 1000, where 1 is death and 1000 is enlightenment, there are different levels of consciousness. While I was reading the book, I could identify on which level of consciousness I was in different periods of time during my life. So for example, there was a period of time when I was on the level of desire, and then there was a period of time when I was on the level of guilt, and there was a period of time when I was on the level of courage, and so on. And what is interesting about consciousness is that we are not vibrating on a certain level all the time. We are going back and forth from different levels of consciousness, depending on the experiences during our lifetimes, and depending on our perception about the world around us and our connection to other energy fields, because each and every individual has a unique energy field. And us being consciousness also means that we are energy, because consciousness is energy. And each and every individual has an energetic field around them. And apparently this energetic field extends out to up to 9 feet or even more, but around 9 feet. So imagine yourself being in a bubble, a 9-foot bubble, that there's a 9-foot bubble around you and you are in that bubble, and each person has this bubble around them. And each of these energetic bubbles, energy bubbles, or let's call them morphic fields, that is around people, because they also call them morphic fields, has a unique energetic pattern, an energetic field, and a value. And that depends on the level of consciousness that the person is on. So I radiate to the world a certain pattern, a certain energetic information, and other people radiate their unique energetic information as well. And if our energetic informations are a match, then we are drawn to each other. And this is how the law of attraction works. That's why when they say that you resonate with an information that you receive, you, for example, resonate with this video, or you resonate with a person, you actually resonate with that person's energetic bubble, because that energetic bubble has its own value and its own pattern. So it means that your energetic bubble has a very similar pattern as well. So you can integrate other information bubbles into your energetic field, or you can synchronize them as well. When you meet a person and you have an energetic resonance with them, and especially if you have physical contact with them, then you are integrating their energetic field into your energetic field as well. And you can utilize the information that they radiate from their field. And now the different levels of consciousness come in picture, because our energetic field and the amplitude of that energy depends on the level of consciousness that you're on. So for example, let's say that you're on the level of consciousness of 200, which is the level of courage, and 200 is really a turning point. I don't want to get into David Hawkins' teachings, maybe another time, but at the level of 200 there's a turning point, because your energetic field from negative will start going into positive. On the levels of consciousness below 200, there's victimhood. You see the world through the lenses of judgment. you see yourself as a victim of the environment, you see yourself as a victim of the universe, and above 200 you start to get into your personal power and to start understanding that you're not the victim of your circumstances. That is why that level is such a significant turning point in human consciousness. So there's a shift in consciousness happening, and from the negative polarity you go towards the positive polarity. So why is it important to know that and to understand these levels of consciousness is because if you meet someone who resonates on a lower level of consciousness, which is below 200, and you are above 200, then you're not going to be an energetic resonance with that person, and you will feel that your energy is being drained by that person. That is the reason why we feel sometimes so drained and so tired in the presence of certain people. And it's very important to recognize that those people are not an energetic match to us probably, and they possibly don't resonate on the same level of consciousness as us. Going back to these energetic bubbles, think about them, that each of them has a unique value and the timeline for when we either experience them or adopt them. So you might have resonated with some friends in the past because you were on the same level of consciousness at some point. But as time goes by and as the years pass by, those, let's say, childhood friendships are no longer an energetic resonance for you, because one of you has moved to a higher level of consciousness and the other maybe moved to a lower level or stayed on the same level. That's why the New Age believe that we have to think positively if we want to draw positive events in our lives is not enough. The whole law of attraction is much more complicated than that. The law of attraction does work, that is not even a question. But we have to look at it from a consciousness perspective, and consciousness determines the energetic field that you uniquely have. Let's say that you want to attract money and abundance and you want to manifest abundance for yourself, but you do have not only some limiting beliefs about money, but maybe you have a traumatic experience about money coming from your childhood because you have seen certain things in your family that created those blockages in you and even trauma. And you might have a level of consciousness that is above 200. But whenever you go through a challenging situation related to money in life, that always puts you back on the level of fear, because that is how trauma works. If trauma hasn't been worked on, whenever there is an event that triggers your trauma, fight and flight kicks in. And that puts you automatically on the level of fear, on the level of lack of safety in life. So when you are on the level of fear, you cannot attract something that resonates on a much higher frequency, above 200, when you are way below 200. And no positive thought or affirmation about money can help you when this very primitive fight or flight mechanism or survival mechanism is being triggered. So the law of attraction is really bringing yourself into alignment, into the same energetic frequency and resonance with what you want to manifest. There's a saying, and you probably heard it a few times, but in order to attract a certain type of person into your life, you have to become that person. You have to radiate the same frequency that you want to attract. You have to create that energetic bubble around you that will draw other energetic bubbles to you that are similar to your frequency. If you don't have the same energetic resonance with someone, then you will pass by each other on the street without noticing each other whatsoever. And the same applies to everything that you want to manifest. I really hope that this video could help you a little bit in understanding how the law of attraction works from an energetic perspective and from the perspective of consciousness. If what you heard resonated with you, then feel free to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on uploads like this in the future. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate you as always. Take care of yourselves. I wish you an amazing week and I will see you in my next video.